Hi, it's Lisa. I was asked recently about how I moved from my first management role into my second, and I realized I did not want to tell the story. Basically, it was messy and it took way too long. There were false starts and lateral moves, and that whole thing is a story in and of itself. But I will tell you about the actual move from entry-level management into mid-management. We'll save the other one for another day. So in my role as a front-end manager, so I was a supervisor at the time, my span of control kept getting bigger and bigger, which means my job just kept getting broader without getting more responsible or more complex. So I had frequently talked with my boss about the fact that we needed a next level manager to give us an opportunity to focus on some strategic changes that we really needed to make. Supervising the day-to-day operations as I was didn't give me a lot of opportunity to create real strategic change, nor was it really within my area of responsibility, but I did what I could. So essentially, my boss was leading several other departments and did not have the bandwidth to really give our department the attention that it needed in order to make those strategic changes. So I had many conversations with her talking about, if we had a manager in place, this is what this would do and that sort of thing. I'm not sure that those conversations really came across as strategic more than they may have come across as complaining. If you're not really coming with solutions and you're talking about what's missing and that sort of thing, it may have come across that way. So in the end, after many conversations about how a manager role could add value, she did get approval for adding a new manager position. It was posted, I interviewed for it, and was promoted into the position. But it took years. So, in thinking about the story, I'm like, I just wish that I could tell this great story about everything that I did right. And really, I think what it is it's a story about what I missed and what I would do differently if I had the opportunity to do it again now. So here's what I think that I missed. Biggest thing that I missed was that I didn't take responsibility for my own career. Ownership of your career is absolutely critical in managing your career well. So I waited and I talked a lot, but I expected that someone was going to do this for me, promote me, as opposed to it being my actions that made that happen. If I had to do it over again, I would have put myself in the driver's seat much more than I did. So here are a few ways that I would do that. I would have focused more on influencing rather than just talking about it in these unstructured conversations. And that makes sense, once or twice. But had I sat down, did the work, and put together a proposal on why the manager role was so important to this growing department, I might have been much more effective in equipping my manager to go and get the approval for the FTE ad, which essentially is what it was. So I also would have had an answer much sooner. Good or bad, I would have known a lot sooner if this was going to happen. I also would have paid much more attention to whether or not I was stagnating in my role. And this is important. I was stuck and I was scared to look elsewhere. And I didn't notice the difference between the challenges of being really busy and stretch challenges that lead to growth. So I was challenged because there was a volume of work that was more than any reasonable person should handle, but it wasn't new and different challenges that were preparing me for the next level. I also, and finally, I would have recognized my own value and been willing to go elsewhere a lot sooner. Now, that's no disrespect to the organization I was with or to the manager that I was working for at the time. But I think that some organizations, really value the growth and development of their employees more than others. And I wasn't in a place that was doing that in partnership with me in the way that I would have liked. So I tried to ignore that nagging voice that said that I wasn't being valued and I wasn't being developed. But valuing yourself and owning your own growth, even if it means choosing to leave, isn't the same as giving up when things get hard, which I think is what I confused. So, don't ignore those nagging voices. Tune into them and find out what they're trying to tell you. So, again, that's the story. And I think that if I had a time machine, things would have looked very, very different. And managing a career is a complex thing, and so many variables, so many different factors, that it can be tough to do these things well and effectively as you're learning and growing into your potential. So if I can help you at all, please do reach out. I always love to hear from you, and I'm happy to help in whatever way I can. Okay? Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.